At 3:47 a.m., she was on her kitchen floor, surrounded by overdue bills, when a voice whispered a psalm that would change everything in 96 hours. Her name was Sarah, a single mother, working 2 jobs, deep in debt for 3 months. And that Tuesday morning, something impossible happened. Have you ever felt the weight of financial despair pressing down on your chest? That feeling like the walls are closing in? Sarah knew that feeling all too well, but what she didn't know is that she was just 96 hours away from a transformation that would challenge everything she thought about money. Kathryn Kuhlman died in 1976, but what she discovered about abundance is still changing lives today, and you're about to discover why. Listen closely. What I'm about to tell you isn't just another manifestation method. It's not the law of attraction. It's not positive thinking. It's something much deeper. Something that Kathryn herself called the forgotten psalm. Sarah had never heard of Kathryn Kuhlman. She didn't go to church. She wasn't religious. But that morning, when despair had completely broken her, she did something she'd never done before. She prayed, and the answer came in a way she never expected. Do you know what it's like to wake up at 3:47 a.m. with a phrase echoing in your mind? A phrase you've never heard before, but that feels like it's always been there waiting to be discovered. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Sound familiar? Of course. It's Psalm 23, the most famous psalm in the world. But Sarah heard something more, something that 99% of people never notice when they recite these words. She heard a vibration. No, I'm not talking about cheap mysticism. I'm talking about something Kathryn Kuhlman documented in her personal journals. Something she discovered about the specific vibration of the original Hebrew words. Have you ever noticed how certain words seem to have physical power? How pronouncing certain phrases can instantly change your emotional state? Sarah discovered it wasn't a coincidence. At 4:15 a.m., she was standing in her kitchen, whispering the words of Psalm 23 the way the voice had instructed, and something extraordinary began to happen. The phone rang. It was her boss, calling at 4:15 a.m. It had never happened before. Sarah, I need to talk to you. Something happened with the project you were working on. Sarah's heart pounded. She was going to be fired. She was certain, but that's not what happened. The client was so impressed with your work that they want to hire you as an independent consultant. The pay is 3 times what you earn here. 3 times. It was 4:18 a.m. Sarah had started reciting the psalm at 4:15. 3 minutes. Coincidence? But that was only the beginning. Do you believe in coincidences? Or do you believe there are invisible laws governing our reality? Because what happened to Sarah in the next 96 hours will challenge everything you think about cause and effect. Thursday, day 2. Sarah decided to test it. She recited the psalm again, the same way at the same time, at 4:15 a.m. This time, it was an email that would change her life forever. Hello, Sarah. I found your profile online and would like to offer you a unique investment opportunity. I have a proposal that could multiply your capital in 90 days. Normally, Sarah would delete an email like that. It looked like spam. It looked like a scam. But something inside her told her to investigate. It was real. The person existed. The company existed. And the opportunity was legitimate. Have you ever felt like the universe is conspiring in your favor? The doors are opening on their own. Sarah was experiencing this, but she was also terrified, because when something too good to be true starts happening, our minds immediately look for what's wrong. Look for the trickery. Look for the hidden cost. Friday, day 3. Sarah almost didn't recite the psalm. Fear had taken over. What if she was going crazy? What if it was all a coincidence? What if it stopped working? But at 4:15 a.m., she was there again, whispering the ancient words, feeling that strange vibration running through her body, and then something happened that she would never forget. Her phone rang. It was a number she recognized, but couldn't place. She answered with a trembling voice, "Sarah, this is Dr. Martinez. Do you remember me? We worked together 5 years ago." Of course she remembered. He had been her mentor, her boss, the person who had supported her most professionally, but they had lost contact. "Sarah, I need you. I just took over the leadership of a new company, and I want to offer you the position of Chief Financial Officer. The salary is, well, it's substantial." Substantial. He mentioned a number that was more than Sarah earned in an entire year. 3 days, 3 opportunities, 3 transformations. But do you know what's most impressive? It wasn't the numbers. It wasn't the opportunities. It was what Sarah realized about herself. She had changed profoundly. The way she walked, the way she spoke, the way people reacted to her. It was as if an invisible frequency had been activated within her. Kathryn Kuhlman wrote about this in 1968. She called it the vibrational transformation, the idea that certain words spoken with specific intention don't just attract abundance. They transform us into people capable of receiving abundance. Have you ever noticed how prosperous people speak differently, how they move differently, how they relate to the world differently? It's not confidence, it's something deeper, it's frequency. And Psalm 23, recited the way Kathryn discovered, adjusts that frequency. Saturday, day 4, the last day of Sarah's experiment, she had decided that no matter what happened, it would be the final test. At 4:15 a.m., she recited the psalm one last time. But this time, something different happened. She didn't just feel the vibration, she felt peace, a deep peace, an absolute certainty that her life had changed forever. And then, at 4:47 a.m., exactly 96 hours after the first moment, her phone rang again. It was an international number. "Sarah, this is Michael Thompson from Thompson Investments in London. Your name was recommended by 3 different people this week. We have a very interesting proposal for you." 3 people, 3 recommendations, in the same week, for a company in London that Sarah had never heard of. The proposal was simple. They wanted Sarah to become a company representative in Brazil. Base salary, plus commissions, plus benefits. The total package was more than 20 times what she earned before. 20 times in 96 hours. But do you know what's most extraordinary? It wasn't the money. It was the realization that Sarah had become a different person. A person who naturally attracted opportunities. A person who vibrated at a frequency of abundance. She had discovered what Kathryn Kuhlman had known for decades. Psalm 23 isn't just a prayer, it's spiritual technology, a way to reprogram our energetic vibration. And you're about to discover exactly how it works. Because Sarah wasn't the only one. There are hundreds of people around the world who have discovered the same secret. People who transformed their financial lives in under 96 hours using the method Kathryn developed. But before I show you the exact method, I need to tell you something important, something Kathryn discovered about why most people fail with manifestation. Have you ever tried to manifest money before? Tried visualization, affirmations, the law of attraction, and it didn't work as you expected? It wasn't your fault. You simply didn't know what Kathryn knew. Most people try to manifest abundance using their minds, but abundance isn't created in the mind. It's created in what Kathryn called the heart frequency. Listen closely. Your mind might want money. It might visualize money. It might affirm that you have money. But if your heart isn't vibrating at the frequency of abundance, nothing happens. And what is the frequency of abundance? It's the frequency of gratitude, of trust, of the certainty that you are worthy of receiving. Psalm 23 does exactly that, not through the mind, but through the heart. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. These words, spoken with the correct intention, create an internal state of abundance. And when you vibrate abundance internally, the external world reflects that vibration. Seems simple? It is simple, but it's not easy. Because most of us carry decades of scarcity programming, decades of limiting beliefs about money, decades of fear, anxiety, and doubt. And these emotions create a frequency that repels abundance. But Kathryn's method breaks that programming, not gradually, not over months or years. In 96 hours. Do you want to know how? Do you want to discover the exact method Sarah used? Do you want to understand why 96 hours is the time needed to completely reprogram your financial frequency? Then keep listening. Because what I'm about to reveal is the heart of the Kathryn Kuhlman method. The exact protocol she developed, the same protocol Sarah used, the same protocol that hundreds of people around the world are using to multiply their income in less than 4 days. But first, I need to warn you something important. This method is not for everyone. It's not for people who want effortless results. It's not for people who don't believe in the power of words. It's not for people who aren't ready for a profound transformation, because when you activate the frequency of abundance, your life changes completely, and not everyone is ready for that change. Sarah wasn't ready. None of the people who used this method were ready, but they did it anyway, and their lives were never the same. The question is, are you ready to discover what it really means to live in abundance? Because if you are, the next chapter of this story will change your life forever. Kathryn Kuhlman's method wasn't created in a day. It took 15 years of experimentation, 15 years studying the vibration of the original Hebrew words, 15 years documenting results, 15 years perfecting what she called the Accelerated Abundance Protocol. And what she discovered goes against everything you've learned about manifestation. First revelation: timing is everything. It's not just any time that works. It's not just any day that activates the frequency. Kathryn discovered that there's a specific window where our subconscious mind is most receptive to reprogramming. Between 4:15 a.m. and 4:47 a.m., exactly 32 minutes. No more, no less. Why? Because it's at this time that our brain produces the largest amount of theta waves, the same waves that are activated during states of deep hypnosis. States where our limiting beliefs are temporarily suspended. Sarah discovered this intuitively. You will learn it scientifically. Second revelation: words matter, but intention is everything. Kathryn didn't recite Psalm 23 as a traditional prayer. She recited it as a declaration of reality, as if she were simply confirming something that was already true. Third revelation: your body is an instrument of manifestation. Kathryn discovered that posture, breathing, even the temperature of the environment influenced the effectiveness of the protocol. Are you ready to know the complete method? The exact protocol Sarah used, the same protocol that changed the lives of hundreds of people. Then grab something to write with, because what I'm about to teach you is the heart of the Kathryn Kuhlman method. Accelerated Abundance Protocol, the 96 hours that change everything. First, you need to understand that it's not 96 continuous hours. It's 96 hours divided into 4 24-hour cycles. Each cycle has a specific purpose. Each cycle activates a different layer of your abundance frequency. Cycle 1, breaking resistance. In the first 24 hours, your goal is to break down the internal barriers that prevent abundance from flowing. These are the limiting beliefs, the fears, the doubts accumulated over the years. Cycle 2, frequency activation. In the second 24 hours, you activate the specific frequency of abundance. This is when your energetic vibration begins to align with opportunities and possibilities. Cycle 3, magnetization. In the third 24 hours, you become a magnet for opportunities. This is when synchronicities begin to appear, when doors begin to open on their own. Cycle 4, Manifestation. In the last 24 hours, abundance manifests in the physical world. This is when concrete opportunities come to you. But how exactly does each cycle work? How do you apply the protocol step by step? Let's start with cycle 1, breaking resistance. Every day, for 4 days at 4:15 a.m., you will do the following. Find a quiet place. It can be your bedroom, your living room, your kitchen. It doesn't matter where, as long as you can be alone for 32 minutes. Sit comfortably, feet on the floor, spine straight, hands resting on your legs, eyes closed. Breathe deeply 3 times. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Feel your body relaxing with each breath. Now recite Psalm 23 in the way Kathryn discovered, not as a prayer, as a declaration of reality, as if you were simply confirming something that is already true. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Pause. Feel these words echoing within you, not just in your mind, but in your heart, in your body, in your soul. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Visualize abundance flowing to you like calm water. Don't force the visualization. Just allow it to happen naturally. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. Feel your soul being refreshed. Feel the relief. Feel the peace. Feel the certainty that you deserve abundance. Continue reciting the complete psalm, but not mechanically. Each word should be spoken with intention, with feeling, with conviction. When you finish, remain silent for a few minutes, just breathing, just being, just allowing the frequency of abundance to settle within you. This is cycle 1. Do this for 4 consecutive days, always at the same time, always in the same way. But here's the secret Kathryn discovered. During these 96 hours, you will resist. Your mind will create excuses. It will say, it's nonsense. It will try to convince you to stop. That's the resistance. And it's exactly what you need to break. On the 2nd day, you will feel doubt. On the 3rd day, you will feel fear. On the 4th day, you will feel something you've never felt before, the imminence of transformation. And that's where the magic happens. Let me tell you about Marcus, a 42-year-old entrepreneur, 3 bankruptcies, a broken relationship, accumulated debt. He applied the protocol last October. First day, nothing happened. He even laughed at the method, thought it was a waste of time. 2nd day, he received a call from a former client, someone he hadn't spoken to in 2 years, wanting to resume a project. 3rd day, his ex-wife called, not to get back together, but to talk about a business idea, something she had never mentioned before. 4th day, an investor who had rejected his proposal 6 months earlier called saying he'd changed his mind. 4 days, 4 opportunities, 4 transformations. But Marcus did more than just recite the psalm. He understood something fundamental about Kathryn's protocol. Abundance is not about receiving, it's about becoming. During these 96 hours, you're not just attracting opportunities, you are transforming into the person who naturally attracts opportunities. It's a subtle but crucial difference. Most people try to manifest abundance while remaining the same person, but abundance requires transformation. It requires you to become someone different, someone who vibrates at a different frequency. And Psalm 23, recited in the way Kathryn discovered, accelerates this transformation. But there's an element of the protocol I haven't mentioned yet. The most important element, the element that determines whether the method works or not. Faith. No, Kathryn discovered that faith is not necessary. Many people who use the protocol were skeptical, some even atheists. Visualization. No, although visualization can help, it's not mandatory. Gratitude. No, gratitude is a consequence, not a cause. The crucial element is something Kathryn called active receptivity. Active receptivity means being open to opportunities, but also ready to act when they appear. Sarah didn't just recite the psalm. When the opportunities arrived, she acted, she investigated, she made decisions, she took risks. Marcus didn't just recite the psalm. When the calls came, he answered, he engaged, he seized the opportunities. Abundance is not a passive state. It's an active state. It's being prepared to receive and ready to act. And that's what Kathryn's protocol does. It doesn't just attract opportunities, it prepares you to take advantage of them. Now let me reveal something few know. Something Kathryn discovered in the last years of her life, but few documented. The protocol doesn't just work for money. It works for any kind of abundance. Relationships, health, creativity, life purpose. Why? Because abundance is a state of being, not an external circumstance. When you are vibrating at the frequency of abundance, all areas of your life are affected. You become more confident, more charismatic, more attractive, more creative. People start to approach you. Opportunities begin to arise. Synchronicity begins to happen. It's as if you've activated an invisible energy field around you, a field that attracts everything you need to thrive. But there's an important warning I need to give you. This protocol is powerful, more powerful than you imagine, and power without responsibility can be dangerous. Kathryn always emphasized that abundance is not about accumulating, it's about flowing. The more you receive, the more you should give. The more you prosper, the more you should contribute. The protocol works because it aligns you with the natural laws of abundance. And the first law is shared abundance multiplies. Sarah understood this. When her income multiplied, she didn't just save the money. She invested in education. She contributed to social causes. She helped other people. Marcus understood this. When his businesses prospered, he didn't just expand his companies. He created jobs. He mentored other entrepreneurs. He gave back to the community. And you, are you ready to not only receive abundance, but also to be a channel of abundance for others? Because if you are, I have a final revelation for you. Kathryn's protocol doesn't end in 96 hours. It begins in 96 hours. The first 96 hours break the resistance and activate the frequency, but the true transformation happens afterward. When you integrate the frequency of abundance into your daily life, when you naturally wake up in a state of abundance, when you make decisions from abundance, when you relate to the world from abundance, this is what Kathryn called abundant life. Not just having abundance, but being abundance. And now, you have the key. You have the protocol. You have the knowledge it took Kathryn 15 years to develop. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Will you apply the protocol in the next 96 hours? Will you wake up at 4:15 a.m. for 4 days? Will you recite Psalm 23 in the way Kathryn discovered? Or will you let this opportunity pass? Will you continue living in the frequency of scarcity? Will you accept that your financial situation remains as it is? The choice is yours, as it always has been. But remember, opportunities have an expiration date, and the opportunity to transform your life in 96 hours may not come again. Sarah chose to act. Marcus chose to act. Hundreds of people around the world chose to act, and they all discovered the same truth. Abundance is not luck. It's not privilege. It's not chance. Abundance is a frequency, a vibration, a way of being. And now, you know how to activate that frequency. The next 96 hours begin now. Your financial transformation begins now. Your abundant life begins now. The only question that remains is, are you ready to become who you were born to be? Because the person you are today is about to meet the person you were always destined to be. And she is abundant by nature. Kat, a single mother working 2 jobs, found herself deep in debt. The walls were closing in. She felt trapped, crushed by crushing financial despair. Every day felt like a struggle, a relentless uphill battle. Against a tide of overwhelming bills and looming deadlines, she'd tried everything: positive thinking, manifestation methods, even delving into the law of attraction. But nothing seemed to work. It all felt like cheap mysticism, a frustrating cycle of hope and disappointment. She felt like she was drowning, the weight of her responsibilities pressing down, suffocating her. The future looked bleak, an endless expanse of darkness. Then, one night, as she scrolled through yet another spam email, a voice whispered. It was faint at first, almost imperceptible, like a rustle of leaves in the wind, but it grew stronger, more insistent. It spoke of a forgotten psalm, Psalm 23, a passage she had read countless times, but somehow had never truly understood. The voice guided her to delve deeper, to uncover hidden meanings, a path she never considered. The number 96 kept appearing, a recurring motif, a subtle but persistent reminder. It was on receipts, in the timestamps on emails, even on the license plate of a car that passed her on the street. Initially dismissed as coincidence, these repetitions slowly began to feel significant, like the universe was conspiring, guiding her towards something profound. Kat, initially skeptical, began to explore the forgotten psalm. Its words resonated with her struggles, offering solace, hope, a pathway out of the darkness. She started to apply its teachings, to practice its principles in her daily life. With each passing day, she felt a shift, a subtle vibrational transformation. The anxieties that had plagued her started to lift, replaced by a sense of peace, of quiet confidence. Over the next 96 days, something extraordinary unfolded. Unexpected financial windfalls started to appear, small at first, then increasingly larger. It wasn't a magical fix. No trickery, no hidden cost, just a series of fortunate events that seemed almost too good to be true. But they were real, tangible, proof of the invisible laws, of cause and effect, proof that she was finally aligned with the frequency of abundance. The debt that had once seemed insurmountable began to dwindle. The darkness started to recede, replaced by a brilliant dawn. Kat had not only escaped her crushing financial despair, she had experienced a profound personal transformation fueled by spiritual practice, by an unwavering faith in the power of Psalm 23, and the unwavering belief in the universe's hidden guidance. A transformation that took just 96 days, a testament to the power of faith, hope, and the unwavering belief in your own potential. Are you ready?